Hello and welcome to episode 20 of Brytenwalda. In this episode, I will end up fighting some bandits. I'm not sure which city I do it in, but it's in one of these cities. Right now I actually have a lot of real troops. As I've said before, real pretty much means that I have that they have shields. These are bandits, there's 29 of them, and they're morths. I don't really remember what morths are, but I guess you're going to see in a few seconds. So, yeah. I'm pretty confident that my army can just destroy them, so I'm just going to tell them to charge, except for the cavalry, which I have follow me, just so they don't get too far ahead of the rest of my troops, because if they do, then they could just get killed all by themselves. I'm not going to go in first either, for that exact same reason, but it turns out they're actually going around that little corner too, so it doesn't really matter. Most of the group is behind that little area. Yeah, I improved my combat skills a little bit, as you probably saw, or probably will see in the arena later. Yeah. I can sort of block now, as long as I'm only fighting one person. If I'm fighting two people, I pretty much just lose. As you can see, my army's pretty much been decimating theirs. The only casualties have been from, the farmers that are helping me. I just went up a level there, so I'm gonna choose something. I don't remember what I choose. I'm pretty sure I choose charisma, and then you upgrade my leadership. But you'll see in a few seconds. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I choose charisma. Yep. And then I upgrade my leadership because it gives me increase the maximum amount of troops I can command by 1. I'm pretty sure either that was 5. And then also lowers my troops' wages by 5%, which is pretty significant. Because, you know, if I'm paying them 100, now I only pay them 95. But if I'm paying them 1,000, now I only pay them 950. It's pretty big. I mean, the money I saved was almost enough to buy those troops. Well, actually, I'm not sure what my upkeep for my troops is. I think it's actually almost like 2,000 now, so I'm saving a good 100, which is 100 more than I normally would have done. And by now, if you have an entertainment higher than like 1 or I believe it's like 2 or higher, then you really almost never fail the simple music thing, and therefore you just get a couple free shillings. It only takes an hour. 8 shillings an hour is not half bad. I'm not sure if I could pay for my party with it. I don't think I could, but yeah, I'm gonna go run back and grab the dried meat. And so, whenever I get new food, I always sell the smaller quantity, because that way it lasts me for longer. I'm also going to sell off that bread, I think sometime, maybe in the future. But I know I will, because I only keep one kind of each food around, because the morale effects do not stack. My party's definitely increasing in size. It's significantly larger than it used to be, and significantly more competent than it used to be. That would be in terms of, you know, fighting. I don't remember what I'm doing. I'm either going to a village to farm, or I'm going to go bandit hunting. Yeah, there's a massive army besieging that city just, I think it's just north of where I am. It's just up. I'm not sure which actual direction it's in. Yeah. For some reason, the people don't ever have any jobs. For me, unlike in native, when they're like, oh, well, I need you to go get me like 50 cattle. Yeah, granted, that place. It's being besieged by a fairly large army. Right now, I'm looking for jobs, and I'm not sure if I find any. Yeah, they don't need anything. Nobody needs anything, which is kind of annoying, because that's a pretty good way to make money, and you also increase your relationship with the village, which will let you get more troops. So, you know, if my army would get completely destroyed, I could just go there, get and replenish it almost all the way. And I believe if you get your relationship high enough, they'll actually start giving you like trained troops like up to the 1st tier or the 2nd tier, which is also really, really helpful. I don't remember whether or not they cost more, because I've rarely gotten that high with village relations. 1, because it's pretty high, I think, and 2, because I don't bother really doing that, because I really have better things to do. It's not that helpful. Although in this game it might be significantly more helpful, because you notice it's really hard to get your troops to survive long enough for them not to, you know, be killed. I know. They need to survive long enough for them not to die. I am glad the food quantities in this mod are higher than the quantities in native, because in native, like, there was like 50 bread to a stack. Now there's 100, and then there's like 100, or maybe there's 150 bread to a stack. I don't remember, but it's a lot more than native, which makes maintaining your party easier, which is definitely necessary because, I mean, sure, the farming thing helps out a lot with money and food. It doesn't provide enough to sustain a party like mine. I actually have to go out and kill things for that. But, you know, whatever. So, yeah. I know, I say that a lot, but that's just because I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm just farming a little bit, got more pork, which is actually worth a pretty high amount of money. Not terribly high, but not too low either. 119 shillings is pretty good. Although, I mean, still, like I said, it's not like it's enough. But it's more. Yep, now I'm going to go to the arena for a little bit so I can practice and increase my skills a little bit and get a little bit of money, because at this point I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get enough money for this. Yeah. I'll press tab after the end of a fight a lot. I'm not quite sure why I do it. I'm pretty sure it's because usually when I'm doing multiplayer and then I press tab, that's because I'm trying to find what my score is now. Once more, the reason why I'm putting away my shield is so that I can get better blocking. I don't know how his axe went through the other guy and hit me or whatever. He probably just walked around him and I'm just imagining it because I was mad or whatever. But I mean, I'm not mad now. I'm watching this later. The best part of Mount and Blade is that once you get, like, destroyed, you can still keep on playing. I mean, it might take you a long time to build yourself back up. You can still do it. Yeah, just did the wrong block direction that time. The people with the spears are actually surprisingly effective for having a spear and a shield. So usually when you have a spear and a shield, you can just walk straight into them, and then just kind of, like, cramp them for space, and then they can't stab you. But, well, one, you can't do that when there's two of them going like this, because they'll knock you down some of the time. You can't swing, or at least I can't swing fast enough with this weapon to block them. Yeah, it's actually surprisingly effective. And they can also shield bash, which means they can just knock you down and then just stab you, which will send you a little bit farther away. It'll only do like 5 damage to you, but then for the next stab, if there's like 2 of them, they can just pretty much decimate you, which is not good. I don't like being decimated. Yeah. I accidentally shield bash a lot because I'm trying to pull up the sword as soon as I let down the shield so I don't lose any time. But sometimes I do it so fast that, yeah. I knew I really should have known that was a bad idea. When I walk up here and I attack one of these guys, I'm pretty sure the spear goes through, yeah. So I attacked him and killed him, but then the guy behind him, his spear went through the attack and just kind of hit me. But whatever, it doesn't matter that much. Now I have a spear, which is the weapon that I have, that I am the best with. And spears are actually pretty fast, and they have a lot of range. A lot more than your average axe. I'm not sure how his axe went through the wall. It might not have gone through the wall. It might have just been seeing things again. But usually when you have those massive weapons and you swing them around in an enclosed space, they can sometimes hit the wall, which you can use as just an extra block in case you don't. Yeah, those swords are a lot longer than they look, or at least to me. Maybe I just have bad, like, spatial awareness. But to me, they seem like they're a lot longer than they actually are, or look. Although then again, the spear also has the exact same effect, so I can stab them from pretty far away like that. And if you time it just right, usually you can get them in the middle of their attack, so that they're just completely exposed while you stab them. Sometimes. I'm getting better, but I need to stop fighting with a shield, because the more I fight with a shield, the worse I get. I'm not saying the shield fighting is bad, necessarily, just that it lowers your skill blocking manually, so that when you need to, you can't do it. Another disadvantage of the, I know this has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but disadvantage of the shield bashing is that when you shield bash somebody, they actually have more time to prepare themselves against your attack than otherwise. It can be useful for knocking off balance, and if you have a fast enough weapon, it can work, but if you don't, yeah, he was moving way too fast for me to block that. or I just did the wrong thing. I mean, really, it's usually best to defend rather than attack unless their shield is stronger than yours. If their shield is stronger than yours, you're not going to win in what I like to call the rhythm of the. You're really not going to win in the rhythm of the shield and then normal attack, because, I mean, yeah, okay, this is what I mean. You attack them on their shield, and then they block, and then it's time for them to attack because you just attack their shield, so then you block, but you're never going to win that if their shield is just way stronger than yours, unless your weapon happens to be like really, really powerful. So I don't know if any swords that can do that much damage, because most of the swords are sort of similar, not massively. There aren't too many massive differences. I mean, unless you're talking about like a dagger and then like a thing. I don't know what it's called. Like a one of those. An elite scimitar. Those things have like 32 cut or slash or whatever it's called. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.